project here is when we bought this land, it's under timber and grazing. And the fellow we bought it from did have a chance. When he first bought it, he could have built a cabin, which he didn't do. He was in the Navy and wasn't retired, and then after he retired, he went ahead and built a cabin, and his permit had run out. So somebody else had the same kind of property and didn't like the fact that other people had done this, so they griped to the county and took pictures and said they were going to do something. He got a letter anyway that said they needed to do something about the cabin. We figured the easiest way to do is just make a tiny house out of it, so we're jacking it up and going to move a trailer frame with wheels underneath it, and then it'll be mobile. So what I'm starting with is I have a bunch of 4x6s. I think I'm going to put 5 underneath it. It'll sit on top of the trailer frame, and then I have the Porta power, which is the orange apparatus you can see in the middle. It's a 10-ton, a lot easier to jack it up with and has a lot more throw than what a hydraulic jack does. So it makes it a little easier. We didn't get any pictures. I guess I was a little excited, but I got a jack one side up and then the other, and then just keep going up a little bit at a time. And I got pretty excited once and got it up in the air and it got off balance. And of course the cabin fell over, so which moved it about 3 or 4 feet over from where it originally was. But eventually got enough blocking so it was stable and got it up in the air and got it all set down on top of the trailer frame. The little treated 2x6 there you can see with the 3 nails in it. It has about a 4 or 6 foot porch that sticks out the front. That was on the concrete and needed to do something to hold that up while we jacked the cabin. So I just put an angle brace down and put that block there to hold the front of the porch up. And he put the cabin down, he put some matting down, and then he completely covered it with gravel. And I'm trying to get enough blocking down to get it where it's going to be flat and not settle crooked. Using the level to make sure the blocks don't stick out too much further than the beam underneath the front of the cabin. I'm guessing, I don't remember exactly, I'd say this was probably about 6-hour project, something like that, moving back and forth from side to side, front and back. And then once we got the front and the back in the right place, then we had to jack the middle up and put the 3 braces underneath the middle also. I have a big piece of flat iron that's underneath the Porta power, so the Porta power is not just sitting on the 6x6 blocks the cabin was built on. There you can see the tires of the trailer frame underneath it. It was a 24-foot camp trailer. I didn't figure the frame was quite stout enough, so I put another piece of 4-inch channel on top of that and welded it all together to make it stout enough. The thing that just really took the time was going from one end to the other. The front end of the cabin, or the far end, you can see where the front door is, and it is a little heavier than the back end. So I actually got it just a little bit too far back on the wheels, but it's not bad as far as being balanced. The only thing in the end that is closest to us that we can't see is the bedroom. Not much weight there.
When our tiny cabin on wheels tipped over, it moved, as Rob explained, so I'm moving the iris out from underneath it.
Probably could have saved myself a little bit of time here by just go ahead and running the Porta power up just a hair higher, the blocks in, and then let it down. Which I guess what I'm doing right now. The cabin is in no way hooked to the ground. There's no water, no drains, no sewer, no electricity, nothing there. It's just a building. Once we got done with getting the blocks all figured out, put in the right place, we stuffed some insulation underneath the floor and then took some house wrap and completely covered the bottom of the trailer with the house wrap, and then took some 2-inch wide, inch thick pieces of strapping board and put them across the bottom to hold the plastic up to keep the insects and the rats out, the mice.